sure that nothing is causing pain or discomfort, as in joint pain. Muscular discomfort, entirely up to you. If you need to stop, stretch, stop, have a little rest, join in again when you're ready to do so. If you make sure that you've got the usual props, so the Pilates ball if you've got it, or just a little pillow, and then the band or a belt, a strap, a towel, something that you can use for mostly supporting the legs. Then setting your position, if you're lying down, see if you can use the mat to help realign the spine. The back of the head is resting on the mat, the shoulders, hips, the legs extended or bent, whatever feels more comfortable for your lower back. If you're seated, as usual, see if I can create space at the front. So the tendency is to drop down at the front, which tends to compress the diaphragm, preventing that nice relaxed breath, so forcing me from breathing up top, up here. So see if I can try and create a little bit more space at the front, so that the diaphragm has got space to descend and then ascend back. So allowing that breath to drop down into the rib cage, into the belly, allowing the shoulders, the front of the chest, the neck and the throat to soften, to relax. And then, as usual, just doing a quick scan over the body. So noticing how you feel and where the body is at the beginning of the session. So the pressure between the right and the left side. Do I feel straight? Do I feel wonky? I'm not changing anything, just acknowledging what's there. So noticing what's going on at the moment. Once you feel a little bit more settled, you feel that the breath is a little bit calmer, it's a little bit more relaxed, I'm going to start to focusing on the neck, on the head. I'm going to start to moving the head gently from side to side. So I'm going to try and bring the right ear down towards the right shoulder, and then the left towards the left. So I'm going to start with a little movement, and then progressively, if the neck allows me to, I'm going to go bigger. So I can feel a little bit more stretch down the side of the neck. What I don't want is feel it pinching. So as I drop down on the right, I don't want to feel my right side pinching. I don't want to feel any pain into the arms. There's only referred nerve pain or tingling into the fingers. And then as I feel the movement starts feeling a little bit easier, then just noticing, is it really my head that is moving to the shoulder, or is it the shoulder that is trying to come up to the head? Can I keep the shoulder down? Can I keep it relaxed? 3, 2, 1. Easing the head back to the center. I might give the shoulders a little bit of a roll. And then this time I'm going to see if I can start adding the thoracic, so working down the spine a little bit. So if I'm seated, I can drop the arms down by the side, I can cross them onto the chest, it doesn't matter. If I'm laying down, I might want to use one hand to carry the head with me as I'm moving from side to side, so I'm not straining the neck. And then I'm just going to start flexing. So I'm still going to bring the right ear to the right shoulder, but this time I'm going to drop the right shoulder towards the right hip to flex into the right. Then easing my way back to the center, left ear towards the left shoulder, and then flex into the left. So it's a nice easy movement, but this time I do feel the neck and the upper back moving a little bit more. Same as I did for the neck, noticing in which direction the movement feels easier. If there is a bit of scoliosis going on, it'll be easy to go one way, much harder to go the other. If there is a general stiffness through the thoracic, it will feel quite stiff for both ways. I'm not forcing anything. I'm just trying to relax both ways. So one side might feel a little bit more open than the other. I'm not going to force, I'm not going to create any pain as I'm moving from side to side. 3, 2, 1, and easing back, returning the shoulders back to the middle, the head back to the middle, and then I'm going to start to stay with the lateral movement, but this time I'm going to try and create it from the bottom up instead of from the top down. So I'm going to keep the head and the shoulders still. And what I want is to try and hitch the right hip up towards the rib cage. So I'm going to try and hitch up on the right, drop, hitch up on the left. So if I'm seated, it's almost as if I was trying to lift one seat bone, pop it back down, one seat bone, and then pop it back down again. So I can still feel that tension into the side of the belly, and the pelvis is gently rocking from side to side. If I'm lying down, it's a little bit easier as I can afford a little bit more movement as I'm not sitting on the seat bench. I can still feel the tension on the side of the belly as I try to hitch that hip up, and then I'm just going to swap the effort and then try the same thing the other side. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back. Returning the hips back to the center, the weight as even as possible under the right and the left seat bone. If I'm sitting up, and then I'm going to see if I can start adding arms and legs. I'm going to stick with lateral movements. I'm going to go for a little lateral raise. So if I'm lying down, think of doing a slow angel with one arm. So I'm going to swing the arm out and around as much as I feel comfortable, bring it back, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side and then bring it back. If I'm seated, I'm going to start off with a little swing. So I'm just trying to swing the arm around and then slightly to the front. So I'm keeping it as relaxed as possible. If I feel that the shoulder is okay with that, then each time I'm just going to try and make the swing a little bit wider and a little bit wider. So progressively see if I can make it bigger until eventually, if possible, I'll be swinging it around the side. And then coming back, and then if the arm starts becoming too heavy, I'm just going to work in reverse. So from that high movement, I'm going to start to drop in slightly, so I can still keep the arm going without tensing the neck, without compensating with my neck. And then just finding that nice, easy movement from side to side. 3, 2, 1, and releasing down, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. So I've got the movement. I know that I can't lift the arm past this point. I know that I can go all the way up here. It's fine. Whichever position works the best for you. This time I'm going to use that arm movement to help me stretch all the way down that side of the body. So I'm going to go back into that lateral flexion, adding the arms. If you're laying down, this time, when you're flexing to the right, think of supporting your head with your right hand so that you can use your left arm to swing and to stretch down the left side. And then when you go to the left, you can swing the right arm and support the head with the left hand. So I'm going to reverse. If I'm seated, I'm going to swing the right arm out to the side And then I'm just going to flex to the side until I can feel a nice easy pull that from the shoulder comes down the side of the rib cage into the side of the waist. Then I'm going to ease my way back, and then I'm going to try the same thing to the other side. So again, I don't want to force, I don't want to create any pain, but see if you can picture the tissue down the side of the body lengthening, so the waist stretching a little bit longer, the intercostal muscles between the ribs are stretching a little bit longer, so the ribs are separating a little bit more. So I'm trying to create space, I'm trying to ease tension. The muscle at the back of the shoulder, the one that tends to pull my arm down, see if I can try and ease some of the tension, see if I can ease some of the stiffness away. Same if I'm sitting, I'm going to try to create that stretch, come back to center, and then flex and stretch the other way. 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, giving the head a gentle roll, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms. And then this time I'm going to focus on the legs. Still staying on that lateral onto that side line. I'm going to, first thing, see if I can get the side of the hip and inner thigh to connect. So I'm going to grab hold of my ball or my pillow and then put it between the knees. So whether I'm seated or laying down, it doesn't make a difference. I'm going to shuffle the feet just a little bit closer together so that my legs don't end up going that way. And then I'm just going to start applying a little force to squash the pillow, to squash the ball. So I'm going to press in, and then I'm going to relax. Same as I've been doing so far, I'm going to try with an easy pressure. So see if I can start getting the inner thighs a little bit warmed up. And then progressively, if I can, I'm going to try and squeeze harder. So if you've got the ball, even if you don't have the ball and you have the pillow, imagine a ball between your knees. See if you can squeeze it so hard as if you were trying to pop the ball. And then I'm going to ease the pressure. So I can really feel the tension into the inner thigh. If I notice that one side doesn't seem to be working very well, it's not responding, so I can feel that one side is pushing, but the other one is not doing much, then I'm just going to try and guide it. So I'm just going to try and use my hand to guide the pressure in, and then I'm just going to ease back. If it's both sides, I'm going to use both hands. So just as a little guidance, see if I can get, with the guidance of the hand, just a little bit more connection to the adductors, to the inner thigh. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. I'm going to hold the tension. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, squeeze a little bit harder. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Relaxing the legs and giving the inner thigh a little bit of a tap, a little bit of a rub to help relax the leg, to help relax the muscle. And then I'm going to work in reverse. So this time I want to get to the side of the leg, side of the hip. So I'm going to grab hold of the band, and then I'm going to tie around the knees. As usual, don't make it too loose or too tight. If you don't have an elastic band and you're using a belt, keep it loose, because obviously with the elastic one there is a little bit of a give. with the belt, there is no give. So I still want to be able to kind of like move the legs a little bit. So put pressure, release the pressure, put pressure, release the pressure. So I'm just going to use a little bow or a little knot to hold it in place. I can hold it with my hands if I want to. It's just to allow the shoulders to stay relaxed. I can just tie around and that's it. And then from there, I'm going to, if I'm seated, or whether I'm seated or lying down, I'm just going to shuffle the feet out a little bit more. And then from here, see if you can push the knees out to match the distance between the feet. Then I'm going to let the legs relax back in again. And then again, if that was easy, then I'm going to try and walk the feet just a little bit further apart. And then again, I'm going to push out. See if I can line up the knees with the feet. And then I'm just going to ease back and then push out again. So same as I did for the squeeze, I find that one side seems to be moving, the other one just doesn't go. Then I'm just going to guide it there and then ease back. So see if I can find the connection to the side of the hip. Still feeling a little tension through the inner thigh to help me stabilize the femur, the leg bone into the hip socket. So making sure that it stays held in place well as I'm pushing out into the band. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one, I'm going to push out and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push out a little bit more. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And release. Relaxing the legs. I'm going to hand you the band. And then freeing the legs, relaxing through the legs, relaxing through the hips. Now that I've got a little bit more connection to the inside and the outside, I'm going to see if I can start moving the leg. I'm just going to focus on the right side. So if you're lying down, think of extending the left leg away, so it's out of the way. It's not going to prevent you, it's not going to get in the way. If I'm seated, I can just walk that left leg out to the side slightly. So it's just like moving it out of the way. And then focus on the right leg. I'm going to try and pull it as far across as I can. And then I'm going to push it as far out as I can. So same as you did when the ball was between the knees, this time focusing just on that single leg. See if I can try and squeeze into the ball as hard as I can. And then imagine to be pulling out into the band as hard as I can. So same as I did before, I felt that I needed a little bit of guidance coming in or moving out. I'm just going to use the hand to help me guide that leg again in that direction. So I'm just going to squeeze it across and then open it out. Feeling the inner thigh, pulling the leg across, and then the side of the hip, pulling it out to the side. If you're lying down, check that it's just the leg that is moving, not your hips and not your bum too. So I'm not rolling from one side of the pelvis to the other. I'm keeping the hips stable and then just trying to pull the leg. Inside of the leg, side of the hip. 4. 3. 2. Last time. and releasing back, relaxing the leg, releasing the hip. I'm going to switch the position for the legs. So if I'm lying down, I'm going to bend the left knee and then just extend the right leg out of the way. If I'm seated, I'm going to try and walk the right leg out and just move it out of the way so that the left leg has got more space to play with. And then same as I did on the right, I'm going to try and pull the left leg across. And then I'm going to try and push it out to the side. Pull it across. And then push it out to the side. And then just same as usual, notice how different the movement might be feeling to this side compared to the other. I might find that this is a bit more restricted, or it feels a lot easier, or I feel that this leg is not responding very well. This one is working quite well. I can control it really nicely. Same as I did on the other side, without forcing, using a little bit of a guidance from the arm to help me move it, but making sure that there is no pain in the hip, groin, knee, or foot. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, easing the leg back to the middle, relaxing the hip, relaxing the leg. So there's a little bit more movement into the hip joint. I'm going to allow the hips a little bit of a rest. I'm going to go back into the back. This time I'm going to focus on rotating movement, circular movement. So starting from the neck, I'm just going to block the shoulders, relax the arms, and then I'm going to start turning the head one way and the other. One way and the other. So same as I did for the lateral flexion. I'm not forcing. I don't want to cause any pinching. I don't want any referred pain down the arms, or any tingling or numbness into the fingers, into the hands. So noticing when I turn to the right, when I turn to the left, where do I feel is pulling the most? Where do I feel the restriction is? When I go to the left, I feel that my restriction is on the left side. It feels as if there's something in there that doesn't allow me to turn further. When I turn to the right, I still feel the restriction is on my left side. I can feel quite a lot of tension on the left side of the neck that's preventing me from going further. So just noticing the difference between right and left side. Is it maybe the position of the head? Am I maybe moving the shoulders too? Or is it just the head that is moving? Three. 2. 1. And releasing back. Adjusting the head, relaxing the shoulders. From the neck, I'm going to move into the, again, thoracic spine. So I'm just going to follow through with the upper body. If I'm seated, I might cross the arms onto the chest. I might decide to swing them. Entirely up to you. If I'm lying down, I'm going to swing them as it's easier to rotate that way. And then I'm going to start to rotate. So I'm going to lengthen myself out, keeping the shoulders down, and then I'm going to start turning. Turning the head to look around the shoulder, and then turning the shoulders to look around too. Coming back to the center, turning the head to look around the left shoulder, and then turning the shoulders to follow through. and then back to the center. If I'm lying down, I'm just using the arms to help me swing from one all the way over to the other side. So rolling from shoulder to shoulder, trying to create a gentle stretch behind the shoulder as I'm moving to one and then the other side. Check that the neck still feels relaxed. So the tendency is to shrug the shoulders up to the head. See if I can still push them down and away, maintaining a longer, relaxed neck as I'm moving side to side. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, adjusting the rib cage, adjusting the shoulders. And then I'm going to keep the rotation going. But this time, same as I did for the lateral flexion, I'm going to work at the other end. If I'm laying down, it's easy as my hips are free to move. If I'm seated, there's a little bit more, it's a little bit harder because I'm sitting on the sequence. I'm just going to shuffle feet and knees together. I'm going to let the arms relax out to the side if I'm lying down. And then I'm just going to start turning the hips from one side, taking the legs with me, coming back to the center, taking the hips the other way, taking the legs with me. So it's a nice easy rotation that this time is moving the hips around. If I'm seated, as I can't really move the hips, I'm sitting on them, I'm just going to try and move the legs out of the way. So with the right hand, I'm going to reach across to that left leg, and then I'm just going to pull the leg to the right, and then I'm going to try and turn away. So still encouraging a little rotation, and I'm going to pull the legs to the left, turns to the right, and then to the other side. So just adding a little movement to the legs as well as the upper back. Again, without forcing, noticing which direction I move better, which direction feels easier, which direction feels harder. 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, adjusting the hips and bring the shoulders back to the center. And then I'm going to stay with this circular movement, but this time I'm going to try and work on the shoulder, and then I'll be doing the same thing on the hip. So I'm going to bring the right arm to the front, and then whether I'm lying down or sitting up, imagine to have pencils instead of fingers. I'm just going to start drawing little circles in front of me, and then progressively I'm just going to see if I can make that circle bigger. So same as you did for your lateral raise, think of starting small and then gradually see if you can draw a bigger movement. Just making sure that there is no grinding in the shoulder as I go into that bigger swing, bigger circle. 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to reverse the circle. I'm going to go the other way. So I'm going to start small and then see if I can progressively get bigger. If the shoulder starts suffering, if the neck starts stiffening, I'm just going to make the circle smaller again. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Relaxing the shoulder, relaxing the arm. I'm going to try the same thing with the left. So sticking the left arm out the front, I'm going to start drawing little circles. And then again, progressively, see if I can make that circle just a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. The same is on the other side, making sure that it doesn't feel as if the shoulder is grinding, it doesn't feel as if I'm forcing, tensing and stiffening. It feels relaxed. I can feel, especially if I'm seated, I can feel that the arm progressively gets heavier, but there is no tension into the neck. If it gets heavier, I'm just going to go for a smaller movement. It's just a little bit easier on the neck, keeping it relaxed. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reversing the circle, going the other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, making sure that I'm not holding tension into the neck. I want you to shrug the shoulders right up to your head, to your ears. I'm going to hold them. 1, 2, 3. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, let them relax. Then again, I'm going to shrug them up. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, let them relax. Last time, shrug them up. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, let them relax. Leave them dropped, leave them loose, leave them heavy. And then I'm going to focus on the leg. I'm going to do the same circles, but this time focusing on the hip joint. So if I know that I fatigue, kind of like moving the leg, so I can't really carry it around, then I'm just going to use the band behind the right leg to offer a little support. Especially if I'm laying down, if I find that I can't really keep the leg up, it's too heavy, I'm just going to use the band to help me support the leg into the upright position. And then this time, imagine the pencil to be sticking out from the front of your knee. I'm going to start drawing little circles with that pencil in front of my hips. So I'm going to start to small, and then same as I did for the arm, gradually see if I can go a little bit bigger. If I'm lying down, I've got space to move. So I might be able to go for a rather big circle. If I'm seated again, I'm on the seat bone, I'm on the hips, so the movement is limited and the leg feels heavier. I'm working against the gravity. So the movement will be much smaller. So the foot might stay on the ground, it might lift away. And then think of all the movements together. So the little crossing and opening that we practiced earlier, but this time I'm adding a little bit of a lifting and dropping too. 2, 1, reversing the circle, going the other way, having a little rest if you need one. and then going the other way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. Giving the leg a little shake, giving it a little rub if I need to help me relax. I'm going to repeat the same thing with the left. So same as before, I'm just going to feed the band behind the left knee. If I feel that I need a little guidance using the arms, and then again, imagining that pencil sticking out to the front of the knee, I'm going to start drawing circles on the wall in front. Progressively see if I can make the circle a little bit bigger. If I'm laying down, making sure that it's just the leg that is circling, the hips are steady, so the pelvis is not kind of like rocking and rolling all over the place. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to reverse the circle again, little rest if I need a little rest, and then I'm going to start when I'm ready to start again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Giving the head a little tap, a little rub. Again, making sure that the hip doesn't feel too stiff, too tight. And then I'm going to see if I can try and connect it to the back of the leg, so back of the hip. So I'm just going to lay down. If you're lying down, think of extending the legs away, so straightening up the legs along the mat. And then from there, I'm just going to try and see if I can do the little gluteal squeeze. So I'm going to clench the right bum cheek, relax it, clench the left, relax. So if I'm doing the clenching side to side and I'm seated, it should be feeling almost as if the hips are rocking side to side. So as I tense, it pushes me up, then I relax, I drop. It tense, pushes me up, relax, I drop. If you find, same as usual, that I can't isolate, so I don't seem to be able to do one side or the other, I've got to do both together, then I'll do both together. It will feel almost as if I'm going to be propped up on the pillow and then drop down again. Propped up and then drop down. If I'm laying down, the rocking will be this way. So as I clench my right, I can feel my right hip popping up. As I clench my left, I can feel my left hip popping up. If I'm clenching both hips will pop up together and then drop. So one side and the other. And then just notice the tension. As I tense the right and left side, whether I'm doing them independently or I'm doing them together, is the tension right and left the same? Or do I feel that I can tense with my right, but I'm struggling to feel my left, or vice versa? Or can I feel that the tension maybe on one side is stronger than the other is a bit weaker, it's a bit softer tension? I'm always going to focus on the side that doesn't seem to be tensing as much, or that I'm struggling the most to feel. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And relaxing the hips. I feel that I've got a little bit more connection. Each time I'm going to see if I can load it. So if you're lying down, I'm going to bend the knees, walk the feet up and towards the hips, and then pushing down through the soles of the feet to squeeze in with both bum cheeks. I'm going to drive my hips up into extension. I'm going to come up into a lift. Easing my way back, and then I'm going to drive my way up again. If I'm seated, imagine to be wanting to stand up. So I'm just going to bring the feet a little bit closer. I'm going to lean forward, hands on the thighs. If I've got something in front of me, I'm just going to lean on the desk, on the work surface, and then I'm just going to try and put weight through the legs. Then I'm going to ease back, and then again, I'm going to come forward, put some weight through the legs, and then back again. So I might lift slightly off the chair if possible. I might stay seated, it doesn't matter, but just to see if I can feel as the weight goes from my hips when I'm sitting on them towards the legs, into the feet a little bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and easing back, giving the legs a little shake, relaxing the legs, relaxing the hips. If you're laying down, slowly I want you to roll over onto the side and then pushing yourself up into sitting. Finding your comfortable position, making sure that you're up on the seat bends as much as you can, using support behind the wall, sofa, or the arms if I need them to be there. And then see if we can try and create space at the front of the body. So I'm going to try and extend. So I'm going to try and lift through the chest. I'm going to push the chest forward. I'm going to draw the shoulders back and down, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then I'm just going to release. So coming forward, letting the chin come down to the chest, the shoulders roll forward, rounding the back as much as I feel comfortable. And then I'm going to curl back up again, trying to create more space, lifting through the chest, pushing the chest forward, drawing the shoulders back, down, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then release and coming forward, chin to the chest, the shoulders come forward, rounding the back and dropping forward towards the legs. One more time. Extending up, trying to create as much lift as you possibly can. And then release back to the front. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a clap for them. Any question or anything as usual, please say.